after playing him and getting into his mind and the vulnerability state that we saw him in throughout the film, if he were here today, what do you think he would be doing about what's happening with Michael Brown and the Eric Garner situation? What do you think he'd be doing, I think?
Well, I think he'd be very encouraged by the fact that, look, from Ferguson, it felt like it was a black problem. Once the Eric Garner footage got out there and there was no indictment, it felt like it was an American problem. And what happened beyond that was black and white coming together, young people on the streets together. It was and is peaceful protest. These are all things that he was a big exponent of. I think what he would be articulating now is what the new need is. In Selma, it was voting rights. Now it has to be police reform. Back then, we had the federal government intervene. We need the same thing now. And so I think that's what he would be banging the drum for.
For you, I think one thing you've done brilliantly here is you're not impersonating him, you're interpreting him.
Right.
And I'm wondering, as an actor, that difference, because clearly an impersonation is a completely different style of acting. Can you talk about the difference between the two?
Yes, an impersonation is going from the outside in, an interpretation is going from the inside out. And what I try to do is find the man first and see how that impacts the oratory, impacts the political mind, impacts the father, the friend, the husband. If you go from the outside in, that's all the audience is focused on. It's just a compare and contrast. You could literally play him on YouTube, watch the movie, play him on YouTube, did he get it right? Well, if that's all we did, then that's just the top layer. You know, we were trying to humanize him, we were trying to humanize the movement, we were trying to deconstruct it. And so that's why, you know, I knew and Ava knew that we had to go from the inside out.
The accent change is unbelievable. I've always wondered how this works. So when you are in a scene doing Dr. King's accent in the movie and the camera shuts off, do you go back to your immediate real accent, or do you stay in the accent throughout the day as you're shooting off camera?
I couldn't be going back and forth from this accent to his while shooting in Atlanta.
Right.
That's not gonna work. That's where this guy was from. And so, you know, I made the choice that I was gonna stay in character essentially for the 2 to 3 months that we were there. Partly because also, you know, you're playing someone who is such a layered human being, and the last thing I needed to be doing is second guessing what I sound like. You know, what I had to focus on is the emotional truth, not what he sounded like. So that's why I made that choice.
Now, after this production's over, this is a very emotional role, and it's very grueling. It has to be. When you leave him, do you miss him? Like, do you miss being him? And do you ever wake up in that mindset? I mean, like, does it leave you that quickly?
Well, I had to gain 30 pounds to play him.
Right.
I don't miss that.
You don't miss that?
I don't miss the belly.
So the food was good, though.
Well, you know what? One of the best things about having food is kind of knowing you shouldn't really have that extra piece of cheesecake. When you have to gorge as much as you can in order to get as big as you can in as short time as you can, it's not so much fun.
Not so much fun.
It's not so much fun. But you know, the honest truth is that I didn't miss the weight, the burden, and I don't just mean the physical weight, I mean the mental, emotional. I mean, I felt it. I felt it. I'm not Dr. King. I'm not for 1 second saying that being an actor who plays him is in any way being him, but I felt it. There was an exchange. I felt him flow through me at points, and as a result, I was quite keen to let go when I could.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. It's wonderful to meet you. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Thank you.